this past year. I am a Blue Status presenter. I've been on that Blue Status journey for 2 years now. As a Blue Status. I actually started in 2014. I just needed something to help pay so I had been out of job for like 3 months, just trying to take care of my health. Finally, I finally put myself first. The job before that, I actually had 540 extra comp hours in 1 year. So I was a workaholic, and I didn't know how to put that kind of time into myself. So I kind of always had some health issues and just didn't know what they were growing up. We just knew tests said one thing, but I didn't have symptoms, and so it was just kind of like a ticking time bomb growing up. And Unique just kind of started really in the middle. I've had this is a back issue and now ear issue, but Unique came in the middle of kind of just where my back was just deteriorating. I have severely advanced degenerative disc disease in all sections of the spine. And simply that just means my discs are drying up. So my spine looks like that of about a 9-year-old. My discs don't have signal, there's no response. It all started with like herniation, so I was feeling pain, but I was young, I had been an athlete growing up, very dedicated, competitive, and when this all started, it kind of just changed my life. It changed the way I worked within a corporate office, traveling, so it kind of changed it when I decided to take care of myself. Actually, I don't think I decided. God said, you're doing this. It really did. And then on September 4th, my mom gave me my birthday gift that year. Of course, we had struggled. It had been the first time that I actually wasn't the breadwinner. And he had to know, and I was at home, and I was like, okay, my friend was selling this, and I thought, you know what? I need something, and I can sell that mascara. And I just lost a bunch of weight. I'm kind of feeling good about myself. Maybe that's what I want to spend my birthday money on. So I did. I had never tried the product. I just thought, that's what's going to pay for my co-pays, which were about $4 a week at $25 and $40 a piece. It adds up really fast. And so I thought, that's what I'm going to do. And I kind of just wanted something to do. I was at home trying to get my mind off of the health stuff. So if I can do that, cool. So I ran with it. I, again, applied my life of just jumping off the gate and doing it and hit yellow really quick, hit fast start really quick, hit my 50,000, hit my 75,000. I've just been kind of doing that, but I have not shared the opportunity because I don't think it was really an opportunity in my life until a couple of years ago. We are both musicians. We've been singing and playing. Yeah, this is mine.
I make the noise and she makes it sound great.
You listen well. So I was doing a training video. I've never had a big issue with speaking in public. That's just, I've been blessed with that. There's other things I'm not blessed with. But I had been asked to show our new highlight and contour palette on a live in one of our groups, and it was right about the time we just all started kind of thinking about doing live, like it was brand new. And so I thought, well, I can do that. I'll get on there. We both have videography degrees. We perform. And I thought, I can do that. Maybe that'll get some other people out of their comfort zone. Well, I knew who my Black Status Miss Heidi Boss was. She didn't know who I was. And she was on the video. And in the middle of this, I'm doing a video while we're setting up for a concert, and Waco is shutting and slamming doors, and as I'm saying, I'm sorry, y'all have kids that get in your videos. Well, my kid is slamming doors and we're getting ready for a show. And that's what Heidi puts on there. Sing for us. And I just ignore her. You gotta suck in your lips. And totally ignored her. And then I thought, after I got off that video, I was like, oh my gosh, what did you just do? Heidi Boss asked you to do something. You totally, your fear got you. You didn't even, I don't know if you guys even fearful, I just shut it out. And I got really good with that, with help. It's easy just to shut the door, turn another eye. And we got in the car and I said, okay, hey, they wanted me to sing, and I just got a message to go live, to sing and do a live video, and he was like, you're crazy. There was no support there at that moment. And I've tried, and I didn't really let him in. It was just my business, and I didn't really like share with him. But yeah, that's what he thought. He thought I was like, oh, I need to fight for them. That wasn't it at all. I thought, okay, somebody asked me to do something, and I need to step out of my comfort zone. That was what this was about. I need to step out of my comfort zone. So we got on, and we did a live, and we sang some songs. And Heidi Boss shared it in the Black Status group. The next thing I know, Miss Sherry Brown was contacting me. And it just kind of, that moment changed things for me in my business, because that's when it became something very personal. It wasn't me selling makeup. It wasn't me just trying to pay some bills. It became something that was now a family affair for me, because I could include a passion I'd had all my life into my business. And so I was asked to talk about, well, I think originally it was about no excuses, and I said, no, I didn't need to do that, because Christy Nutter's already spoken about that this morning, just by standing up here. So, Cindy's put it on the schedule, and she said, it's just a title, but, I'll just put that there. But it was about overcoming obstacles. And I am a firm believer, this is a Zen proverb that I kind of live by, but it's that obstacles are not in your path, they are your path. And I truly, truly believe that this company has saved my life. And not because I don't have a disease that's going to kill me. I some days thought it was going to. 7 months of chemo I thought was going to kill me. But this company allowed me to still live through all of that. And so we, at that time, doing this music, when things kind of started getting bad, my back just started having more and more symptoms, and things were getting bad. And I thought, well, we're just gonna, we'll just keep singing. The singing thing's cool. And the next thing I know, literally within a month, maybe a couple months after doing that live, my hearing kind of started acting up and having some issues. We did some standard testing like we always do. And I came up with a very rare ear disease called autoimmune inner ear disease. And it was like, you're going to lose your hearing. This is the way it works. Like it's going to go. And we just decided at that moment to be very transparent. Not only in our music business, but in my makeup business, because I really thought, this sucks, and if anything's going to come out of me, I'll help somebody. It's not going to maybe help me, but it's going to help somebody else. Like, I'm going to share my struggles and be honest about it. And so that's, as Cindy talked about being yourself, that is literally, I think, one of the most disservices we do to ourselves on social media, is the obstacle becomes how do we present or market, and we become consumed with that, and we forget about just being us. Really, that's who people want to know. And I've learned that over time. I still think about how do I present something in a certain way, but being myself, and the obstacles that were put in front of us became a part of our journey. One of Zig Ziglar's, like, I love him, and I love everything he stands for, but one of his deals is that you can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. And I couldn't stop what was happening. Sometimes we have struggles. Everybody in here has a story, and everybody has something going on in their lives, whether it be your business life, or your personal life, your family life. And you can't really stop all of that from happening. It's called life. But you can learn to get back up. You can learn to, I decided to accept a chair in New Orleans. That's literally on the trip home from New Orleans. I sat in the airport when I watched a girl with MS roll up in her wheelchair, a manual wheelchair that has this amazing machine on the back of it that propelled her. So it wasn't even a power chair. And I sat down on that floor and I was hurting and crying and in pain. And I just picked her brain like, what is this? Because I felt like God had told me, you have got to accept this. Don't see it as an obstacle. Use it, girl. Like, use it. And I am so blessed. People say, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm not. I am so blessed because a lot of people who end up in one of these chairs, they're pushed into it, they're thrown into it. They have no other choices. They just, it's immediate change, and I get to transition into it. Like, I can still walk to the potty. I'm so blessed, and we're learning to make it a part of our journey versus trying to, the obstacles would literally have stopped us. And I could have said, mm-mm. And now, I'll be honest, 7 months on chemo and a high dose of prednisone, my family was not happy with me. I was mean. I mean, literally there were days I said, I'm sorry that I'm such a witch with a capital B today. I'm so sorry. Because I was. It was rough. And I could stop the medicine from doing that too. That was another obstacle. But I could try to use my obstacle to propel me. It was in St. Louis. Who went to St. Louis Convention? Who remembers the lady who did the race around the world? Accelerate through the wreckage. You guys, when she was talking, I got my phone call from my surgeon to tell me how bad my back was. I got up and walked out and had to have that phone call as him telling me it's time for surgery, it's going to be bad, this is going to suck, and I can't do it. And I went back in, and that was the slide. I have the picture still of that slide that said accelerate through the wreckage. But the obstacles are there, and you can try to do it all on your own, but you don't have to. I have thousands of women who help me with my business struggles, and sometimes it's been fun to encourage each other through our home lives and all of that. But I'm going to tell you right now, there's somebody else in your life that I know the person will say, well, my family doesn't fight for me. Your family's probably not pushing you through each rank like your sisters are, your wise sisters, right? But your family is who will help you through those obstacles that could make or break your business. They're the ones on the other side. You've got to have that balance on both of them. And it doesn't mean that it might be, your spouse may not be, maybe really busy, and you haven't shared that with him. I'm going to let him talk because I didn't share with him the first 2 years. Until we sang that first note, he didn't know nothing about unique, really. And you have to find that part. My mother is she's a presenter. She's not pushing me through ranks. She's a kidnapper. She's a supportive mama. But she pushes me to every appointment that I need to go to make sure I can do my business. And this one.
Actually, way more rights.
Here's why, because looking at this table over here, I think I realized when you become black status, you have to dye your hair black. And I love black hair, but
I am going to let him say something because that was one thing that he said is, well, y'all talk because.
And I said, no, it'll be her job.
But the deal is that you can, you can say, well, my family doesn't buy for me and think that that is not supporting you. But there are the little things, and even the things that we don't think about. I mean, you think, okay, well, my child's being crazy, running around the house while trying to do my video. Where is my husband? Or where is my daughter? Or like somebody wrangle my kid for me for 5 minutes. But there are the other little things. We have several little things that I've started to notice. I mean, it's as simple as I'm trying to lay in bed and do a live, and I can't get out of bed today, and so there are crumbs in the bed, and this guy didn't get mad at me. So I know it drives him crazy. He knows it's you pick your battles kind of thing, and it's supported, to pick up a crumb and not yell at me. Right? All right. And we have to support each other. So that's the other thing, is you're going to have obstacles. I can tell you one of the biggest things that's helped me is to help others. They talk about being a servant-driven leader. The minute you can take focus off of yourself and your obstacles, it's like they just fall away. And you can focus on somebody else. It doesn't mean you quit forgetting about your life or your family or whatever. But when you can truly find a way to serve your heart, to serve somebody else's heart, it totally will change the way you look at the obstacle. It will no longer be an obstacle in front of you. It will literally be a stepping stone on your path. It really will. And you gotta have support. He's gonna talk about family and how we as presenters don't always let in that family, that they don't always know. Just like our customers don't always know, or presenters don't always know. I mean, I have people who, I say, why did you join somebody else if you're my best friend? She's like, well, you didn't ask. And sometimes we just have to tell what we need. So that's my biggest advice, and he's gonna elaborate on that.
just really quickly, we're out of time. Yeah, let them eat cake. Yeah, she's right. So, just real quickly, I wasn't real supportive at the beginning. I wasn't anti-support. I just wasn't supportive. I wouldn't say she couldn't do it, but I didn't know anything about the business at all. I didn't know about the foundation. When I found out when I learned about the foundation is when I really kind of started bleeding purple, or dyeing my beard purple. If you went to MovieCon, you got to see that last year. But when she finally started opening it up and let me know, hey, this is what this company's about. We're not just about it's not about making money to be profitable. We have this foundation we support. She's talking about the foundation. I thought, oh, that's great. But I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is husbands and support. So if any of y'all have a significant other that you may not be getting the support you need from, number one, I would tell them, hop on over to the Husbands of Unique Facebook page and or hit me up or hit and we'll help them through, because at first it's kind of odd, I kind of feel, even now I still sometimes I'm kind of feel a little neglected because she's over there on her phone and like, she just messed around on Facebook. On the 12-hour drive here, I think we had one conversation. But we launched a fragrance, and there are no men's fragrances. We got 3 fragrances. There's a yellow, a blue, what's the other one? Purple. I want a brown Derek fragrance. I would wear a brown Derek fragrance. But I started taking deliveries for her, and it was kind of weird walking up with a little purple bag. But then now I'm kind of like the white husband around town, dropping off deals in the middle of the night. Police are following me home. Well, I do what I can. But
And you didn't always know what to do.
I didn't know what to do. But my support didn't really kick in until she really opened up about the company as a whole to me and let me know this is what they're about, this is what they stand for, this is our product. And then, of course, the incentive trip kind of sealed the deal. And there's only purple blood in these things. So. But yeah, I mean, if your husband or your significant other is kind of like on the fence, friend me on Facebook. Go to the Husbands of Unique page and just talk to other husbands and find a way to include them in your business. I mean,
Don't push makeup on their faces all the time. That's not fun. Right?
okay, I've worn some makeup and I liked it. I turned the glitter palette into camo. It was like camo glitter. Don't think that your significant other will never support you. It might just take the right information or the right communication or the right other husband that you need to kind of give them a swift kick in the behind to get going. But it's a great community. I'm in awe of the community that this company has, and the way we say in the Husbands of Unique group, we uplift, empower, empower, and invalidate. And that's all I got.
So very much. Just remember, there are women who support each other, and if you need to talk to somebody and you don't have that, we're all here for each other. It really does work that way. It really does. Like, just reach out to somebody. They'll help you get that obstacle in as a stepping stone. All right, so next up we have Sheila. Oh, okay. Righty. Oh, nice. Well, while she's doing that, I want to thank Cindy Brancato. I remember Cindy as the woman who brought Unique to the Kansas City area, and certainly now, you know, and beyond that. Cindy is the one who puts together this event. She spearheads it, puts it together for us. So, thank you, Cindy. Okay. I've been with Unique since November 9th, 2013, when my daughter Katie sponsored me. And in 2015, our teams worked really hard and developed. And on November 28th of 2015, legendary Lash Ladies became a Black Status team. And I'm so proud of them. Okay, do I give you the signal then? If I need a, oh, I'm sorry.
Will it work? It's an hour.
Okay. Oh, it does, okay. I am a wife. Come May? 40 years. 40 years come May. Mother of 5, 3 by birth, 2 by adoption. 4 out of the 5 are grown and out of the house. And just know that grown doesn't always mean out of the house. But that's what we've got now. But we're still raising. We're still raising. We have a 15-year-old that we're still raising. But this is the crew, our middle daughter at her wedding. And so there's everybody. I have 4 grands now, 3 grandsons and a granddaughter. So, and yeah. They help me out tremendously, especially the 15-year-old with social media stuff. So you can imagine that's true. I didn't know how to post on Facebook when I started. I got witnesses for that. So, very cool. Very cool. Okay, our topic today is motivation for preventing burnout via the concept of living forward. That's what we're going to talk about today. And the purpose is to prevent burnout over the long run. Who else is with Unique for the long run, like I am? Yes. Would you be interested in knowing how to prevent burnout over the long run? Yeah, good? Okay, then you're in the right place. Yes. Alrighty. So what I want you to do now is take out a piece of paper or however you are taking notes. And number down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And across the top, you are going to write top 5 reasons I deserve my dreams. Top 5 reasons I deserve my dreams. Now, if I say something today that kind of sparks a reason for you, I want you to go ahead and write it down, or through the rest of the day, or even on your way home. Let's say you came with other wise sisters, maybe chat about it on the way home. But I want 5 reasons why you deserve your dreams. This is difficult for some people to do. You deserve them. I want 5 reasons down there. Homework, have it done. Okay? In fact, if you could post those, even in the group, like afterwards or something. Oh, wouldn't that be cool? I just thought of that. Cindy allows that. Do it. Okay, but now what I want you to do now is to think about your dreams. Okay, we're in a room full of dreamers. Are we not? Yeah, so think about your dream and envision your dream. Right? Ladies, I do not believe that any of us have dreams that were not given to us for the purpose of accomplishing those dreams. I don't know what your dreams are. I don't care if you've had some disappointment along the way.
I don't even care how far-fetched, doesn't matter how far-fetched your dream might seem. Here's what I know for sure. It is possible. Let's all say that. It is possible. Yes. Your dream is possible because you were willing to take a chance. Not everybody is willing to take a chance. Right? Don't we know that? They're not willing to take a risk at all. They find some means of employment in their life. They do that. Repeat that. Do that some more. They're probably working for someone else. And then they pass. Okay? But life holds a special kind of meaning for those of us who are willing to live forward. We may have disappointments along the way, or setbacks, or even what seems to be like a failure, obstacles, like Julie talked about. But in the process, you're going to realize things about yourself that you never realized before. In the process, you are going to realize you have greatness within you. You're going to realize that you are more powerful than you ever even imagined you could be. You are greater than your circumstances or your obstacles. What you're going to realize is that you're not a victim. Now, I wanted to come up with something that was really going to kind of seal this living forward concept in your minds for you today. So bear with me. I'm going to ask you all just to stand right in your place, please. Okay, make sure you have just a little bit of room behind you also. Okay. Don't be stressed.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. No jumping back. You're good. Okay. I thought this stage was bigger. It's not. I'm gonna show you what I want you to do. Okay.
Hear me, I'm gonna shout like this.
Yeah.
Okay. You're gonna, oh good, you got in the back. Okay, you're gonna, living forward, remember that's the thing we're talking about, all right? So in that idea of living forward, and yes boys, you can do this too. You're gonna lean forward, and your arms are coming out like this. Your dream's right here in front of you, okay? That's important, lean forward, but you also are gonna push back any doubts you have. Lean forward, doubts, push back.
Wait. Ready? There we go.
Especially yourself down.
Sweatshirt
Alright. So, now, all on your own. If you're ready, say I'm ready. Ready. Look forward. Very good. Okay, now, I'm going to tell you a little story about myself. I'm going to illustrate a couple of key points, and you'll pick up on those points very easily, quickly. Whew. Never really told this story before out loud, but when I was in high school, I was an okay student. I was an okay student. I could pretty much get B's without doing a whole lot of studying. And I was okay with that. I had a lot of other outside interests. Worked at JCPenney's, cleaned houses, babysat, volunteered at the Junior Red Cross, cheerleading. You know, I thought I was being well-rounded. But academics, not so much. Didn't really take those higher level challenging courses. So, when I hesitatingly signed up for Algebra 2 my junior year. And, I didn't like it. I couldn't imagine anything she was putting out there on the board that would, I would need the rest of my life at all. So I dropped that class, put something else in there for that class, okay? So later on in my junior year, speaking with the academic counselor about my future, and at one point, Sister Constantia looked at me and said, doesn't really seem like you're college material. In my mind, I'm thinking, I can't go home and tell my mother that, because my mother's the one I grabbed to one time. Hey, Mom, I got a B on that test, and I didn't even study. And she looked at me, and she said, just think what you can do if you study. So, no, I didn't go home and tell Mom that Sister Constantia said that. And after all, the O'Connor kids went to college. My sister Sue was at Mizzou. My sister Kai was all set to go to Mizzou in the fall. But now I've been told, doesn't really look like your college material. So anyway, I did break that mold of going to Mizzou, because I thought, well, maybe Warrensburg. Maybe I can handle that. So my girlfriend Mimi and I did go to Warrensburg together, and I did okay. Did okay at Warrensburg. I joined a sorority, I'm president of the sorority, but you know what, that really didn't help me when I went job hunting. And actually I job hunted after that with a bachelor's in psychology, and people would look at, my resume or whatever, and well, Miss O'Connor, this is nice, but what can you do? What were your job skills? So for several years I went back to working retail, and so I did that, and husband and I got married, started our family, and I was in my mid-30s, 2 young ones, and then, it was then, I guess I'm a little slow, but I started thinking, wow, God forbid, what if something would happen to my husband? I would need to be raising these kids on my own. It would take more than something in retail to be able to do that, right? So I considered going back to college, but I was nervous about it because guess what? Guess what was playing back here? What tape was playing? You're not college material. Talked to my sister Sue about it. She said, Sheila, this is the way you need to look at it. Because it was going to take 4 semesters, so 2 years of study, and 3-month internships not being paid. She said, in 2.5 years, you can either not be an occupational therapist, or in 2.5 years, you can't be an occupational therapist. So I applied at KU. We were living in Lawrence at the time. KU with very highly ranked occupational therapy program. I think it was 6th in the nation at the time. But I applied, got accepted, started studying. And I studied and studied. I approached it as if it was my full-time job. I studied in between classes. In the evenings and weekends, I was home with the kids. And if they happened to take a nap together, I studied then. I would get up in the wee hours of the morning and review for a test. Okay? So, how do you think I did? Remember, my wife was, I wanted to be able to support these kids if I should ever have to, right? Okay, with the exception of one class in which I got a high B, all my other classes, I got A's. When I was at KU, the department, occupational therapy department, developed an award, and it was for outstanding senior in that current senior class, and I was given the honor of receiving that award. And what I want to say to you is, don't ever let somebody else's opinion of you define who you are. Do you hear me, ladies? Don't ever. Yes, you can overcome obstacles like that as well. Alrighty. So I applaud you all for being here. You are working on your dreams by being here today. You are living forward. But some things are necessary to know. Here, you're going to come up now. Uh-oh. Okay, now I kind of go to the other side. The one after the picture. Thank you, Cindy. Well, what you need to know, so I think I have 8 points here. We'll go through them fairly quickly, but you know, yeah, next one. Let's try it now. There we go. Well, yeah, here's a saying, and why this is important as well. Because self-leadership always precedes team leadership. Y'all realize that? Yes, we must work on ourselves first, which is the first point. Necessary to work on ourselves. And that's not what I'm talking about today in terms of getting into details about that. We've already kind of had that, in particular with Jenny. But are we blessed to be in a company that envelops us with the culture of working on ourselves, right? We have some white and yellow status presenters here. Speak to your sponsor or your elite or black status if you want to know details and resources for that. Another one is to get negativity out of your life. So I just gave y'all a tool for that, to envision that, dreams forward, living forward, push doubts back. And what would negativity be? It might be someone who is not striving to live forward. We talk about some of the negative aspects too. It is so critical for us to realize that that has to be put out of our lives. We can't keep leaning forward if even we're hanging on to some negativity back here, right? How far can we get forward if we're still kind of clinging to that negativity back here? We can't. We have to let go of the negativity. Okay? At the same time, we need to attract people who are hungry. So those are people with that same mindset, at least, of wanting to strive forward. My husband and I used to have a pizza place, little pizza place in our small town, and we had it for 17 years. And on the door, so right when people would come in to get an application to work, we had a sign on the door that said, "We hire for attitude, train for skill." Okay? That's how we operated then. That's who we looked for when we hired people. Well, we all have our businesses, correct? You want to have a similar mindset. Hire, so to speak, want to connect with people who you like their attitude, and you have no problem at all, I am sure, training them for the skills that they need. And what a joy it is when they're coachable and have that attitude. So, yes, you want to know that you are an uncommon breed. You want to know that you know that you know that you are a person who can say, it is possible for me, even when others don't see it, even when they don't understand. It's important for us, I know you all have found this out, to be flexible so that we can provide the best for our organizations. Haven't you learned? It's important to be flexible, not solid, rock solid like an oak tree. And one of those things along with that, with our team and with our customers, there's a saying that it's not enough for us to just want to please our customers or to satisfy our customers, but we really should strive to amaze our customers. And sometimes we need to think outside the box to do that. So I do a lot of one-on-ones, and people come to my home and I do one-on-ones, or maybe myself with one or two other people. And when I do that, I always try to remember to snap a picture. And the reason I do that is because I use card service, and I can just take a photo, and then I put it onto a card, and it's pretty, and it's on cardstock, and then inside that's where I write my thank you note, which I'm right away going to start employing that one great sentence that we learned earlier today. But I'm going to show you a picture here of Ruthie. So I took this picture of Ruthie, and she had come over. Ruthie's 95. She's absolutely adorable. She looks me up to get rid of these wrinkles. You know, so, or she got her uplift serum there. But anyway, I used that snapshot, put it on the card, sent a thank you note to Ruthie, and several days later, I got a thank you note in the mail from Ruthie thanking me for the thank you note that I had sent to her. Have any of y'all got a thank you note for a thank you note that you've written? Okay. So I have another girlfriend, Connie, a similar thing. She came over, she and I are in a girlfriends group, about 6 of us. And she came over and she looked at the products, she ordered a few things, and she left. I remembered, I didn't take a picture of Connie. So I found it was a recent picture of that little girlfriends group. And so I used that picture, put it on a card for her, it was her thank you note though, for coming by. And next time I went to Connie's house, actually that group was at her home, but at some point she kind of caught my eye across the room and she kind of tilted down like this. She goes, "Did you see that?" I said, "Yeah." And she goes, that's the note you sent me. It was the picture, in a picture frame, in her living room. Yeah, so, you all, I don't consider myself that creative. You all probably have it all over me in terms of creativity, but share that with each other. Share that with each other. There'll be certain things that just really strike you to do, and take an extra moment, and do those things for your customers. What's Connie going to think of every time when she sees that picture? At least some of the times. Oh yeah, that time I was at Sheila's house and she sent me that. Okay. We also had a sign in a pizza place, and they had one word on it. The word's lanyard. I know it's a weird word. I don't even know how to spell it. It's lanyard, but what it means is give a little extra. Just give a little extra every time. So we want, in particular, remember that with our customers. Okay. What we must realize to be living forward, striving forward always, is to conduct our businesses well, with wellness and enthusiasm. Yes, realize we have to tell ourselves, it is me. It is me. So I want each of you to say out loud, it is me.
It is me.
Responsible for your business. Amen. Turn to your neighbors and say, it is you.
It is
It is you. Yes, it is. Okay, it is necessary, as we well know, to plan, to write our goals down so that we keep improving. Okay, that's why you're here today. You're doing that too. So, I just want to, I'm inserting a little kind of a thing here. I'm honored to be a Black Status presenter. And I decided to insert this next little bit just because I know you all probably have people on your team who can relate to what I'm going to be saying. But for whatever reasons, at this time in my life, I am with this organization that is founded and run by, for the most part, people who I could be their mother or their grandmother. I mean, I'm okay with my age. I was born on the exact day God wanted me to be born, but here I am in this group. I don't think I'm seeing any other silver hair. But, and that's okay, but sometimes, what should I do about that? What should I think about that? Anything? Should I do anything? Nothing? I'm not the only one. I have other presenters in my age range that I speak with, and I kind of wonder the same thing. But unique. We all know how good it feels and why I embrace so many things about unique that I know you all do too. So one day though, it dawned on me. I'm the one. I'm the one, along with a handful of other presenters that, might also be in this, let's say, exclusive level or up. It doesn't really matter. But I'm the one to be leading this forward thinking in terms of I am finishing strong and doing it beautifully. Okay? We can do that. We can do that. We're ready doing it. We're ready to learn more about it. You need having a full line of skincare products. That every bit of it is anti-aging. We're getting in there. Okay. Don't think Lynetta didn't have any input. I know she did. And that's all great, but I had a woman contact me recently. She's a Blue Status presenter. She's been with Unique a couple of years, and she's in, I'm going to say 50 plus to say a number, but I'm sure she's in her 60s at least, like I am. And she contacted me, and her upline, she was having doubts. Blue Status, been there quite a while, wasn't sure if she's going to be progressing, has some doubts if this is really, the place she should be. And I think it was her upline and maybe it's for Black, but in any case, they said, well, check out Sheila Rickle. Anyway, so she did. So she saw one of my lives and she messaged me, and so we did some chatting back and forth, but she shared with me some of her doubts that she had, and she shared with me also that she recently had returned from the Haven retreat. So ladies, I want you to think about this. She held that burden for decade after decade after decade. She has been carrying that burden. It doesn't get lighter. It doesn't just disappear with time. She needed a Haven retreat. There are other women in that category, 50s, 60s, even 70s, who probably still really need the Haven retreat. And we don't forget that we can be the vehicle for them as well for getting to the retreat. They also can be valuable members of your teams. They might want to be in on it just for social. They might really need it for financial as well. Some of my friends are saying the word retirement is going to become extinct because who can retire? I need it for the finances now myself. But it has, as we all know, brings so much more than that. Don't forget them. Encourage them. Encourage them on your team. Yes, they might be a little bit slower, but they might be incredible women to mentor other women on your team as well. Encourage them, please. Thank you. You may be the one in your family who be the one who can be the chain breaker, as Melanie so eloquently told us in her final words in New Orleans. In speaking to us, we must remember that you could be the one to be the chain breaker in your family. That's why you're here. Just a quick story about my mom. She passed in 2007. She was 82. She'd been struggling with cancer over the course of a year, gone through the treatments, chemo, radiation, etc. And on one of her days, several weeks before she passed, I sat next to her and was talking with her, and I said, Mom, what am I going to do when I have questions? What am I going to do? How am I going to know what to do? And Mom looked at me and she just said, she hesitated only just briefly before she said, it's in there. You will know. Just think about it. It's in there. I want to say that to each and every one of you. Don't wait to figure it out until you're my age. I couldn't be more excited for all of you to be getting it now and figuring it out now. Just think where you will be when you're my age. Yes. Woo! Yes, that's what I want for each and every one of you. More than anything else today. That's the joy. I'm going to be at convention. I'm like, Robert. I know. I'm still going to be going. Oh, Lord willing. Aren't we in such an incredible industry? Again, it's been said. Who else loves the network marketing or direct sales industry as much as I do? Yes. We succeed because we help others succeed. Yes. It's just like none other. So I want you to turn to the person beside you again and say, you are a presenter with the right stuff. Yes, you got the right stuff. Okay, so we figure these things out, figure out how to move forward. That's how we prevent burnout, ladies. Let's see. Okay. There's a book called Living Forward. I was originally going to speak a little bit more about this book and the details. I'm just going to give it to you as a reference by Michael Hyatt and Daniel Harkavy. Living Forward tells you how to really consider in your life, not just your business. We all get saturated with how to set our business goals, right? What about those other areas in our life? Our relationships that are so precious. And Julie spoke so beautifully about we need those in our life. Your financial situation, you want to be debt-free. What's your plan? You want to have fun and adventures in your life. You want to take care of your physical self. Like Jessica talked about her health journey. Do you have goals for those? This book can help you lay those things out. And I'm not saying this to imagine that you're going to have, oh, crying out loud, Sheila, I got all these other goals. You want to put more on me? That's not the reason why. It's so you can continue living forward in all of the areas of your life and not get burned out with our businesses that bring us so much joy as well, unless we let them burn us out. We don't want that. Okay, every one of us here, even if you sponsored or not sponsored yet, final thoughts. Everyone leads someone. Our teams are looking to us as an example for how to approach life. So think of your team members now. And we'll leave you with this question. How will your choosing to live forward better equip you to offer your team the guidance they need? Thanks for listening today. Keep living forward.